All right, let's jump right into it. Today we're diving deep into the world of Blackthorn. 30 years of Dutch rock history. Wow, that's a lot to unpack. Luckily, we've got these two awesome sources: a celebratory article marking their 30th anniversary, and a full on historical biography of the band.
And they've had a really interesting journey.
Oh, for sure. And you know, it's funny, they got their name from a list of computer games, not your typical rock band origin story.
Definitely not. But it kind of speaks to their personality, playful and, well, they're definitely hard to pin down. That same kind of out-of-the-box thinking comes through in their music, too. They take melodic rock and add their own unique twist, especially when it comes to covers.
I was going to ask about that melodic rock sound. What exactly does that mean?
So it's a subgenre of rock. Think
Yeah.
strong melodies, really tight harmonies, often focused on guitar riffs and those big vocals.
Okay, I'm with you.
Bands like Def Leppard, Journey, Bon Jovi, those are some of the big names in melodic rock. But Blackthorn adds a bit more grit. They draw inspiration from bands like the Foo Fighters, Velvet Revolver, Audioslave. Those groups have a heavier, more modern rock sound.
So they're kind of like a bridge between classic and contemporary rock?
Exactly.
Oh.
And that's a big part of what makes them so interesting. They appeal to a wide range of listeners, blending familiar elements with a fresh, modern edge. And being able to evolve and adapt like that has been a key to their longevity, for sure.
Speaking of longevity, let's go back to the beginning. Their origin story is pretty classic, actually. The article mentions they formed in 1993 at Berlin College for a school music night. Pretty humble beginnings for a band celebrating 30 years together.
Right. It just shows you the power of passion and those strong bonds they formed early on. Michiel Crombeen and Roel Sint, they're the founding members, and they obviously had a spark. That school project quickly turned into something much more serious. They started recruiting other musicians, and boom, by '94, Blackthorn was officially born.
And when you look at the biography, it's impressive how many talented musicians have been part of Blackthorn over the years. But there's this solid core group that's remained incredibly consistent.
Oh, absolutely. Marinka Close on vocals, Roel Sint on bass, although he actually started as the vocalist.
No way.
Yeah. Then you've got Michiel Crombeen on guitar and Richard DeBoer on drums. Those four have been the backbone of Blackthorn, either from the very beginning or pretty darn close to it. It says a lot about their shared musical vision and how strong their friendship really is.
And get this, one of their teachers, Bart Murs, actually joined the band later on as a guitarist. Talk about a full circle moment.
It's pretty wild, and it shows you how their music resonated, even with the people who were supposed to be teaching them.
I love that.
It also speaks to their commitment to musicianship, Bringing in a teacher like that suggests they were always looking to push their skills further.
That makes sense. And speaking of pushing things further, let's not forget Maurizio Soju. He stepped in as frontman when Marinka Close was on maternity leave. Talk about keeping the Blackthorn flame burning bright. He even led them through an Iron Maiden tribute project.
Oh, yeah. That's a really cool detail. It speaks to their versatility and how they're always willing to experiment. They weren't afraid to explore different musical avenues, even while they were developing their own unique sound.
So we've got this core group, this revolving door of amazing collaborators. Now let's get into their actual musical journey. In their early years, they were all about original music. They released some successful demos and albums, definitely a dry Blackthorn Day in '96, Blackthorn Live in '98, Pile on the Agony in 2000, and Time in 2006. What can you tell us about these early recordings?
Those albums really capture their growth as songwriters and performers. They're honing their craft, experimenting with that melodic rock sound, and really finding their voice.
I can imagine.
And then around 2010, they made a big shift. They started incorporating covers into their sets.
Oh, yeah. I read about that.
But these weren't just straight-up covers. They took everything from '80s hits to modern tracks and infused them with that signature Blackthorn energy. That's what makes them so unique, their ability to reimagine familiar songs. They could take a pop song and turn it into this hard-rocking anthem, or take a classic rock track and give it a completely contemporary twist.
That must make their live shows incredible.
Oh, absolutely. Their shows are this high-energy blend of originals and reinterpreted covers. It keeps the audience on their toes, for sure. They've even cited influences like the Foo Fighters, Velvet Revolver, and Audioslave, which gives you an idea of their range.
Okay, let's talk about their rock opera, Pile on the Agony. That sounds like a pretty ambitious project.
It was. They went all in with this epic creation. Yet they recorded it at Studio Unit 13, which was actually located in the old Slacktuous.
The what?
The Slacktuous, it's a slaughterhouse in Harlem.
No way.
Yeah. The fact that they chose such a raw and unconventional setting really speaks to their artistic spirit.
For sure. But it wasn't without its critics, right? The article mentioned some people found it or over the top.
Yeah, it definitely got some mixed reviews. Some people thought it was too theatrical or overblown. But you have to remember that Pile on the Agony was a product of its time. Rock operas were having a little bit of a resurgence in the early 2000s. Blackthorn wasn't afraid to push boundaries and take risks.
I respect that. So we've got this band with a cool origin story, a constantly evolving lineup, a unique sound that blends genres, and they're recording in slaughterhouses. But here's the big question. Why haven't they achieved national or even international fame?
Hmm, that's where things get really interesting. We have to think about the complexities of the music industry, the changing priorities that come with different life stages, and of course the potential for creative differences within the band itself. But honestly, Blackthorn's story might be about something entirely different.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes success isn't measured in chart positions or stadium tours. Sometimes it's about something deeper, something more meaningful.
Like the enduring power of friendship and the pure joy of making music together.
Exactly. Sint actually said, "I've known this band longer than I've known my wife."
Yeah.
That says a lot about how deep their connection is. For Blackthorn, it seems like success is about that shared passion, that unwavering bond they've forged through decades of making music together.
And as Michiel Crombeen said, the importance of that connection becomes even clearer when it's taken away. He talked about how much he struggled during the isolation of the COVID-19 pandemic. He said, you really notice how important that is when you can't do it for a while, like during the corona period, for example. I went crazy at home.
It's so real. It's a powerful reminder that music can be so much more than just entertainment. It's a lifeline, a source of community and connection. And for Blackthorn, it's clearly the glue that's held them together through thick and thin. It really makes you appreciate the power of music, right?
It does, and it actually ties in perfectly with something the biography mentions, this almost mystical connection they feel when they play music together.
Right. It's like they tap into this collective energy, an energy that goes beyond their individual abilities. Michiel Crombeen put it really well when he said, "What we do is certainly not perfect, but it just works. You feel that immediately."
There's a real sense of wonder in that quote, like they're acknowledging this special thing that happens when they become a band.
Exactly. It's like becoming part of something bigger than yourself. Roel talked about that too. He said, "You're no longer an individual, but part of an organism. You feel the dynamics."
Wow, that feeling of losing yourself in the music, becoming one with the band. I can only imagine how powerful that must be. You know, it reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about Albert Sheerbeek. The biography talks about how important he was to their early recordings. Can you remind us who he is and what kind of impact he had on their sound?
Oh, Albert Sheerbeek. He's a legend in the Dutch music scene. He was a member of two really influential bands, Bintangs and Carlsberg. He brought so much experience to the table when he worked with Blackthorn in those early days.
It sounds like a...
He helped them experiment,
Yeah.
pushing them to explore different sounds, different arrangements. He even produced their live CD, Blackthorn Live.
So he was kind of a mentor to them.
Absolutely. His guidance and influence played a big role in shaping their musical identity, gave them the confidence to experiment and really develop their own style.
Speaking of their style, you mentioned earlier that they bridge the gap between classic and contemporary rock. What are some concrete examples of how they blend those influences?
Well, let's take their cover of Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode, for example.
Okay.
The original is a synth-pop classic,
Oh, yeah. I love that song.
but Blackthorn turns it into this driving rock anthem. They keep the essence of the melody, of course, but then they add layers of powerful guitars, driving drums, and Marenka's incredible vocals. It gives the song a whole new energy.
That's awesome. What about their original music? How do those influences show up in their songwriting?
A great example is their song Time. It's from their 2006 album of the same name. It's got that classic melodic rock structure, big anthemic choruses, catchy guitar riffs.
I can hear it.
But then they add these interesting rhythmic shifts, these unexpected harmonic changes. It gives it this modern, almost progressive feel.
So they're not afraid to play around with the structure and push the boundaries of the genre. And that brings us to their current lineup. The biography says they're still going strong with Marinka on vocals, Roel on bass, Michiel on guitar, Richard on drums, and of course their former teacher Bart also on guitar.
It's really something else, isn't it, to maintain such a stable lineup for this long? Especially when you think about all those different musicians they played with early on. It suggests a deep level of respect and camaraderie between them, a shared commitment to their musical vision.
Totally. And to celebrate this incredible milestone, they're having a big anniversary concert on November 9th, 2024. It's going to be at Music Fort in Beverwyck. Are you familiar with that venue?
Music Fort is amazing. It's known for its great acoustics and intimate atmosphere. It's the perfect place for Blackthorn to connect with their fans and celebrate their journey.
And in a nod to their roots, they're featuring young musicians at the event. I thought that was a really cool touch.
Definitely. It's a great way to give back to the community and inspire the next generation of musicians. It shows their dedication to supporting the local music scene.
As we dig deeper into Blackthorn's story, it's clear that their success isn't just about the music. It's about the people, the friendships, those shared experiences that have become such a big part of their journey as a band.
You're absolutely right. Their story really highlights the importance of finding your tribe, those people who share your passions and support your dreams. It's about finding that community where you can be yourself, where you can grow and evolve, and where you can create something truly special together.
And Blackthorn's 30-year journey is a testament to the power of that connection. They've faced challenges, they've embraced changes, they've celebrated triumphs, all while staying true to their shared passion for music.
It's really inspiring. Their story is a reminder that the most enduring legacies are often built on passion, dedication, and a genuine love for what you do.
You know, it's incredible to think about. This whole thing started as a school project, and now it's a 30-year career. The article mentioned they never really made it big on a national level, but they seem to have found a different kind of success, one that's rooted in passion, friendship, and a deep love for what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Blackthorn's story is a powerful reminder that there are many different ways to find fulfillment. They found joy and meaning in creating music together, and that's something really special.
It really is. As we've been talking, I keep coming back to this idea of their music as a kind of alchemy. Like they take all these individual elements, their personalities, their musical influences, their life experiences, and somehow they blend it all together to create something completely new and captivating.
I love that analogy. It really captures the magic that happens when they come together as a band. Like they've discovered this secret formula, the perfect combination of ingredients to create sonic gold.
Exactly. And like alchemy, there's a bit of mystery to it, something you can't fully explain or quantify. It's that intangible spark, that energy that ignites when they play together.
And what you get is music that's both familiar and surprising, something that speaks to your soul and makes you want to move. Their music is a testament to the power of collaboration, of bringing different perspectives and talents together to create something truly unique.
And speaking of transformation, think about how their music has evolved over the years. From those early days of hard-rocking originals to their current mix of covers and original material that blends genres, they've never been afraid to experiment and push their creative boundaries.
It's like they've gone through these multiple musical metamorphoses, constantly refining their sound and exploring new sonic territories. But through it all, they've held on to that core essence of Blackthorn, that raw energy, that melodic sensibility, that undeniable chemistry.
Yeah. It's inspiring to see a band that's so comfortable with who they are, but still driven to evolve and grow. Their story is a reminder that change is essential for any artist, any band that wants to stay relevant and keep that creative spark alive.
Absolutely. It's about embracing the journey, being open to new possibilities, and never losing sight of the passion that ignited the flame in the first place.
Well said. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Blackthorn, let's raise a glass to their 30 years of rocking the Dutch scene.
To their unwavering dedication, their infectious energy, their enduring friendship, and their ability to keep the music alive.
Here's to Blackthorn, a band that proves that passion, creativity, and camaraderie can truly create something magical.
And who knows, maybe their journey will inspire you to find your own musical alchemy, to create something beautiful and meaningful with the people you care about.
If you're in the Beverwyck area on November 9th, make sure to check out their anniversary concert at Music Fort. It's a chance to experience the magic of Blackthorn firsthand and celebrate the power of music and friendship.
And for those of you who haven't heard their music yet, we encourage you to give it a listen. You might just discover your new favorite band.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep rocking, and keep diving deep.